See. All right, so you're Bryce Thomas, and Mr. Thomas was previously in court, entered pleas of guilty in cause number 24, DCCR 0389 to the third-degree felony offense of prohibited weapon. Cause number 24, DCCR 0390, also third-degree felony of possession of a prohibited weapon. Cause number 24, DCCR 0391, pled guilty to the state jail felony offense of theft of a firearm. Cause number 24, DCCR 0392, pled guilty to the lesser offense of indecency with a child by exposure, also a third-degree felony. There was no plea agreement. I have received and reviewed the pre-sentence report. Has everyone had an opportunity to review that report? In addition, there is also the largest packet I've ever received of jail incident reports in a case. Did everyone have an opportunity to review those?
When the judge says she's holding the largest packet of jail incident reports she's ever seen, that's not a badge of honor. That's a record of failure. 35 pages, not of paperwork, but of fights, defiance, threats, and mayhem. This isn't a kid trying to learn. It's a one-man riot inside a jail cell. And if this is how he acts locked up, the judge knows exactly what happens when he's free. Chaos is a paper trail now, and it's 35 pages long.
Review it. Okay. Anything else? Any objections or corrections or additions to the report? All right, Mr. Burbank, you may proceed.
Your Honor, this is a very young kid that in a very short period of time jumped off the cliff and got himself in a lot of trouble. I will represent to the court the case by family. My issue was the recovery of the weapon. I will represent to the court that almost immediately, mysteriously, weapons ended up in my office and all the way and returned to the sheriff's office. And I'd like the court to take notice that they went into the office to continue.
Can you speak up a little bit, please?
Oh, back into to go open because I do not have a recommendation. You can place them on probation for a period of 10 years and see what happens. These are third-degree felonies that you can do. At the very at state jail, you could put them in a state jail for a period of time and put them on probation for the other one. I would ask that if you are going to that maybe in reference to sexual offense, should be placed on probation so that we can have some accountability for him once he got out for a period of time. I would need support maybe whether or not his long is lesser. Now, as you peruse through the pages of incident reports of my private department, I've talked at length with Mr. Thomas about those, and he'd like to address the court on that.
The defendant says he was young and dumb, but the judge isn't buying it, not for a second, because young might explain a mistake. But this is a rap sheet, not a report card. Multiple jail write-ups, fights, defiance. This isn't a kid acting out. This is someone who chooses chaos over change. And the judge? She's ready to stop the clock on the excuses. This isn't detention. This is prison. And Bryce just earned his seat.
Yeah, go ahead. You have something to say?
You don't have to say it. I could just say it's just young, dumb, just being in jail at a young age and not really knowing that. All write-ups.
Yeah, but once you get several write-ups, the whole point of growing up is to learn from your mistakes. So if you keep getting write-ups, then You can't just say I'm young and dumb. So I keep getting write-ups. I don't disagree that you're young and dumb, but this is ridiculous. Like, I mean, I know our jail cannot wait for you to get out. Cannot wait. Mr. Coleman?
Yes, Your Honor, I'll be brief since I put everything, made the state's position clear in our sentencing memorandum. I'd like to briefly shift focus from the write-ups to the underlying facts in the state's position.
Yeah.
I believe
Still in out of cop cars.
still in from patrol vehicles, at least 2 patrol units, Your Honor. Detective Matt Dixon is here. If you want to hear more details of the detectives. But Your Honor, I think the audacity, the boldness to steal these weapons from a police car goes to show what exactly the nature of this defendant is and what we're dealing with here. And even more than that, Judge, it appears from that line facts that the defendant may be implicated in a series of car burglaries. We've got a Glock switch that converted one of those weapons into a
Stolen guns, a Glock switch, 2 broken into cop cars. This isn't mischief. It's military-level theft with street intent, and prosecutors know it. They called it exactly what it is. Grand theft tactical. When a teenager arms himself with illegal firepower, modifies it for full auto, and then calls it a phase, the court sees through it. This isn't just bad behavior. It's urban warfare prep, and the system is gearing up to shut it down.
what could have become of these weapons if they would end up in the hands of other criminals, if they could have been used against law enforcement. Long gone are the days where there's a low caliber Saturday night special that these kids use, in some type of crime. They are using, they are loaded for bear with fully automatic weapons. I'd ask the court to make an example out of this. He benefits from not having a criminal history to speak of, but Your Honor, this is beyond the bill as you send him two days, split sentence in this case. Sentence him to prison for what he's done, and then following that, the second is probation period so that he can continue monitoring after he's released. Thank you.
So, I wanted to make sure, Mr. Coleman, I've done this type of sentencing that you're asking for on some different cases. I think the probation period, if I sentence him to probation today, I don't know that I can make that consecutive. So I think
I believe you can, Judge, and if you need to recess this proceeding, I can get you case law. I'm pretty sure.
because when would it start?
It will start after he finishes his hearing process.
Okay. So whatever I give him, if I do prison, and then I say it's consecutive with a probation, it doesn't matter if it's a straight or a...
The judge asked the one question that cuts through all the noise. What are you even shooting these for? Because let's be real, these aren't deer rifles. They are battlefield tools, full auto weapons, stolen, modified, hidden. When a teenager stockpiles these, it's not for sport, it's for dominance. And when the judge hears, "I didn't mean harm," she hears, "I just didn't get caught yet." This isn't just about guns. It's about intention. And Bryce just triggered the system's full attention.
What are you doing with all these?
In Texas, a judge
Not shooting
Sir?
Not shooting.
Not shooting people yet. What are you shooting? Why would you have these? What are you getting these to shoot at?
Only the second person in 11 years to break into a patrol unit. And not just once, twice. With boldness, with planning, with nerve. The judge is stunned. Not because it happened, but because of how casually he did it. This isn't curiosity. It's criminal calculus. Weapons stolen. Mod. Circulated. And the judge? Her patience is long gone. When you treat law enforcement like a shopping center, you don't just cross a line. You get sentenced to the other side of it.
Sorry, didn't you? That is some nerve. I mean, seriously, you're the second person I've had in 11 years that has had the nerve to do that. Here's what I'm going to do, because I agree with Mr. Coleman. I would like, at least in the indecency case, to get treatment and probation on that case so that we know you're not going to go make that type of bad decision again. But I'm not giving you probation on everything. You want to change your life and do better and not be young and dumb. You're going to have some time to figure that out. So in cause number 24, DCCR 0389, I'm going to find that you entered your plea of guilty freely and voluntarily, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of possession of a prohibited weapon. Mr. Coleman actually asked me to sentence you to 5 years. I don't think that's enough. I'm going to sentence you in that case to 7 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You'll receive credit on that sentence for any time you've been in custody. And part of the reason I made it lengthier is because you have been in custody so long, and a 5-year sentence really isn't going to amount to much. Cause number 24, DCCR 0390, also find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of possession of a prohibited weapon. Sentence you to a term of 7 years in the institutional division of the Texas Department of Corrections. You will also receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. In cause number 24, DCCR 0391, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and at this time find you guilty of the state jail felony offense of theft of a firearm. Sentence you to a term of 2 years in the state jail prison. You will receive credit on that sentence for any time that you've been in custody that the law gives you the right to receive. Then in cause number 24, DCCR 0392, find sufficient evidence to find you guilty. However, in that case, I'm going to defer all proceedings, place you on probation. No, that's the third. I'm going to find you guilty of that offense, sentence you to a term of 10 years in the institutional division, but I'm going to suspend that and place you on probation for 10 years.
Can I address the court on that?
Mm-hmm.
With the deferred just the registration, it would, if you did comply, that we run out, that we may have a chance instead of a conviction.
He's already got 3 convictions.
Fourth. That, but essentially,
May I respond to that? Is a reduced charge.
I agree.
Okay.
Can I give a straight on indecency though? Hold on. I think it has to be deferred. Hold on. Yeah, it has to be deferred. Okay, so I'm going to go back in that cause number, which ends in 0392.
7 years in prison, 10 years of probation. This isn't just punishment. It's a blueprint. The judge laid it out like a life contract. Serve your time. Come out. Stay clean for a decade. But here's the deal. The same behavior that landed him here will bury him there, because parole isn't automatic. Reform isn't guaranteed. And time doesn't fix what intent won't change. This is more than a sentence. It's a challenge. Grow up or get swallowed by your own past.
Then, if you violate that probation, you could be sentenced up to 10 years in that case. So you're going to be under supervision or in custody for a very long time. So if you really want to change your ways, you're going to have every opportunity to do that. If you don't, you're going to end up, number one, you're probably not going to make parole if you keep acting like you've been acting here. If you get to prison and you act like this, you're not going to make your parole. You're going to do that whole 7 years. That's going to be up to you. The sooner you get out and act right, the sooner you can start this other probation and get off of it, grow up, and maybe change your life. That's going to be up to you. On that deferred, I am going to order a $500 fine that you follow all of the conditions of probation. That's going to include sex offender treatment, going to whatever classes are necessary, staying clean, not getting in any trouble, all of those kinds of things. Do you understand? Mr. Coleman?
Your Honor, is there a deadly weapon finding option in these weapons?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Unless you can, I don't think that's...
Within the legend.
Well, and they're not, possession of it prohibited in the 3G, so I don't think we can, yeah. All right, so all of these are actually wrong because y'all marked off plea bargain and there wasn't a plea bargain. So I'm going to hand you the trial court certification in all of your cases. This shows that these were not a plea agreement.
It was a plea agreement, because No.
Oh, because of,
No, there was an unauthorized use that we believe would be dismissed.
and also the lesser offense in that, so there was consideration taken, so there was an agreement, at least for those reductions. Okay, so you have waived your right to appeal. In these cases, I'm going to hand you those certifications. I'm also handing you a written admonishment regarding your ineligibility to possess a firearm or ammunition. Because of the judgments entered against you, you're ineligible under Texas law to possess a firearm or ammunition. Possession of a firearm or ammunition could lead to charges against you. Firearm is a legal term, and you should read that written admonishment I provide you to see what devices qualify as a firearm. If you have questions about the laws that make you ineligible to possess a firearm or ammunition, or about how long that lasts, you can talk with Mr. Burbank. All right, good luck to you, sir. You can go back with the bailiff.
Yeah. Mr. Jenkins, that you're going to